When we are born, we are placed into an environment that is shaped out by a society, an environment, a religion, a people, a culture, our parents, and their beliefs and their ethics and their cultural practices. And every person is born into a box. Quite literally. That's a crappy box, but you get the point. And that box is defined by all these variables selected by our parents, most of which are passed down through conditioning. Some things through brainwashing, some things through habit, some things, many things, out of fear, but mostly conditioning. Many of us do not question why. We just, out of fear and conditioning, we follow what we've been told. Some very rare and privileged people have the advantage of being given a box without walls or boundaries, and they're told, yes, you're in a box, and this is what we do, but guess what? There's a lot more out there, and we want you to go out and explore it. We want you to build your own box. We want you to not take our box and create your own box and replicate it. What we want you to do, says these rare parents, is taste and sample the entire world. Hand pick and cherry pick the ones that you want for you. Try it all. Try all the religions. Try all the politics. Try all the lifestyles. And build your own box. But whatever box you decide to build, don't force your children into that box either. A lot of us did not have those parents. I did not have those parents. So I remember being a child and having these feelings. And I am an emotional guru. When it comes to emotions, I know my shit. So when I feel things, to me those are red flags, not danger, Will Robinson. They are the kind of flags where it draws my attention. I feel things and I look at it, I dissect it, and I pull it apart and I go, what is this? So when I was 5 years old, the very first time I felt this is when I was in my Southern Fundamental Baptist Sunday school, and I was being shown these pictures of heaven. Gold streets, gold trees, gold water, gold homes, gold fruit hanging off of the golden leaves and the golden tree, and the woman was going on about how the gates are pearls, and I just remember looking at it all, frowning, much like I'm doing now, thinking, the God who knows so much made me a golden tree? I am a huge believer that if there is a Santa Claus and he meets me, he had better know my name. And if he asks me what my name is, he's not really Santa. I was that kid. So I never believed in Santa because it was too fishy. This was fishy. Being told that a God who seemed to know everything felt that I would want a golden tree. My 5-year-old self went, that's not a God who knows everything. That's a stupid God. That's a God who really didn't do his homework on me, because I would never want a golden tree with pearly gates and golden streets. I would want a forest and a library and water. So that lesson at 5 was a huge, me slamming the brakes on the religion right out of the gate, going, I call bullshit. This is crap. I was immediately very skeptical of the religion they were shoving down my throat. And I'm telling you this story because this is about challenging your perspective. This is about you challenging the box you've been given and how to recognize that you're in a box and how to step outside of the box. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. A lot of people. They're in their box. They're going through everything that their parents and everybody told them to do. They're following, they're dotting their I's, they're crossing their T's, and they are not happy. And they can feel it. They can feel like there's a hole inside of them, and they know this, and they're just going, something's just not right. And they don't understand because they've done everything they've been told to do inside their little box. And they were promised that if they did everything according to whatever rules their parents were given, that they would have happiness. Well, here we are. You're an adult now. You're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. You might be married with a great job, with children, with a good wife or a good husband, and you're miserable. So why aren't you happy? And I will tell you why. It is because the box you are living in is your parents' box. But I'm going to go a step further and say that the box that your parents gave you to live in isn't even their box. It's their parents' box. Actually, it's their parents' box. And it's the same box that's been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And kind of, to be honest with you, by the time we hit the 1950s and the 1960s, people started to not feel good about these boxes. Actually, in my opinion, I think it's been around a lot longer. It was whenever it was that we started passing down these boxes and people outgrew these little boxes because the industrial age happened and society changed and the world got smaller when the internet was made. And suddenly there's a few of us people, quite a few of us, who the first things out of our mouths every argument, every conversation is, let's see what Google says. And we jump on Google and we confirm all the bullshit that we've been told. So now we've got red flags going off saying, this is bullshit. Because if you had done your homework, I can see right here that Google says. But Google doesn't just say. Google cites the sources that verifies the evidence. We live in the evidence age. We live in the age of truth and fact. That's really what's going on here. I need everyone to really listen to this next part. Because we are now living in the age of fact and truth, all the bullshit we've been passing down from generation to generation doesn't work anymore. And we know it. We're starting to figure that out. So now we're in this place where we've got our little box and it's just not sitting right with us. And we all know it. We all feel it. We're all unhappy. And we're trying to figure out why we're not unhappy. If we have followed the formula, if we've done all the homework, if we did exactly what mommy and daddy said, why aren't we happy? You are not happy because the box is not yours. But to fit inside of this box, you had to suppress and give up and cut away pieces of you so that you could fit into this cookie cutter that they gave you to fit into. That's why. Because the box does not fit you. It's too small. You are much bigger than this box. And in order to fit into this box, so mommy and daddy would like you, you had to cut a lot of you out just so you could fit. And yes, now you fit in the box. And now mommy and daddy tolerate you. Maybe even like you, love you, accept you, validate you. But they only validate you because you're fitting in their box. And there's a whole other part of you that you aren't even in touch with, that you have removed from yourself to conform to their box, that you have abandoned, that you don't even know you've abandoned because you did it at such a young age. This was done to me at such an extreme level, at such a young age, that I developed multiple personality disorder from it. And I have spent over 27 years of psychology to figure this out and to put my brain back together again. I know what I'm talking about. I know how to dig in there, find it, and resolve it. This is what I do. This is all I have done since I was 15 years old. My name is Anna Imagination. And I have an extraordinary story to tell you. I have an even more extraordinary package and a program that I am offering to clients. I can only take 2 or 3 of them on this week, but it is an accumulation of everything I have worked for, everything I put together that was able to get me out of the significantly traumatic situation I was living in, put my pieces back together again, and make me whole again. And it's jammed with literally every technique. If you were to follow the program, you would walk away with the same results. It's astounding. My therapist, when I was using the program, looked at me and said, "You just crammed 20 years of therapy into 5 years." That's right. And I did it in record time because I had studied it for 27 years. I had studied philosophy. I had studied existentialism and sociology. And I was able to take all of the pieces and everything I knew from psychology, from sociology, from our environment, from existentialism, and from philosophy. I was able to put everything that I had learned together into a program, and then I was able to utilize it. I took myself from being a shut-in for 20 years to being a social butterfly with over 150 friends, with more events than I know how to attend, with a lot of social life. I have a very rich, wonderful, happy life and it's all because I know how to access authentic living and bring back the parts of me that I was conditioned, brainwashed, and shamed into throwing away. I know how to undo all of that and teach you how to see the box you're living in and see where you really are. Find the pieces that you threw away, get them back, reunite you, make you whole again, so you no longer feel rejection. Before I wrap up this video, I'm going to say this one last thing to you because this is so important. We are all laden down lately with feeling rejected and feeling lonely and feeling isolated. And the reason why is because that feeling of unsatisfied rejection that's always there, that no matter how much you work to not feel rejected, it's always there, is because that is you feeling the part of you that you rejected years ago. You feel lonely because you are feeling that part of you that you threw away that's crying to come back to you. You feel empty because you have literally cut out a piece of you and your identity and have denied it and invalidated it. And you are feeling that loss still your entire life. You are still longing for yourself. When people talk about self-love, when people talk about you can't really love somebody until you love yourself, but then they don't really tell you what that means or how, this is what they mean. And I know how, because I've done it. And I put myself back together again. My name is Anna Imagination. You can learn more about this at www.angelabchrysler.com. I'm going to say again, www.angelabchrysler.com. You're going to look for Operation Imagination. That is what we're doing here. This is Operation Imagination, the Happiness Series. I walk you through with my program everything you need to find yourself, to put you back together. I do one-on-one consultation. It's a phenomenal program, and it will get you what you need. This is absolutely what I've been working on for 27 years. I am currently looking for 2 to 3 people only this week. I am offering 50% off of the package at $2,500, and that expires by the end of next week. Again, my name is Anna Imagination. Go to www.angelabchrysler.com. If you know anyone who could use this video, share it, love it, like it, comment, contact me. I'm absolutely here for your service. Thank you again, and may the kindest of words always find you.